Hi, I'm Suzie Dills, and I'm the director here at the Hoover-Price Planetarium at the William McKinley Presidential Library and Museum, and welcome to October Astro Adventures. We are certainly in for a spooktacular October. So, on October 1st, we had the full harvest moon. We talked last month that the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox, which was September 22nd, is considered to be the full harvest moon. So, our October 1st full moon was the harvest moon. And with our lunar cycle being 29 and a half days, that means we're going to have 2 full moons in October. So the second one is going to happen on Halloween night. Spooky! And it's going to be something we call the blue moon. However, it's not going to be blue in color. That's only a definition of 2 full moons in 1 month, with the second one being the blue moon. But we also have the seasonal definition of a blue moon. So when we have 4 full moons in one season, the third of those 4 full moons is called the blue moon. And it's pretty exciting because our next seasonal full moon is going to happen on August 22nd, 2021. So here's a nice map for that night of Halloween when we're out trick-or-treating. You can see Jupiter and Saturn over there in the southwestern sky. You can see Mars just blazing in the east, and there's that blue moon rising Halloween night. So let's talk about our other sky highlights. I touched a little bit on the visible planets, but let's take a closer look. Mars, just brilliant for October. It's going to reach opposition on October 13th, so it's going to rise at sundown, and it's going to be a part of our night sky until sunrise. And right now, it is also closely approaching planet Earth. It's about 38.57 million miles away, but it is so bright right now, it's outshining Jupiter. So that's pretty brilliant. So looking towards the eastern sky after sundown, and you'll see Mars over there in the eastern sky, showing off its red-orange colors of autumn. And it's going to be located just below the constellation Pegasus. So we have 4 stars that form a square, and that is called the Great Square of Pegasus, and just below that is where we would find blazing Mars. And then the 2 gas giants we've been enjoying all summer long, Jupiter, Saturn, still hanging out there in the southwestern sky. But what's really cool as we head towards November into December, they're going to continue to get closer, and we're going to have a great close pairing on December 21st. So that'll be coming up. All right, let's just talk quickly here about our constellations. We're going to look towards the southwest. We already talked about Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is going to be brilliant, and up to the left, Saturn will be a little dimmer. But if you look down to the right of Jupiter, you're going to see that teapot shape. We said that's an asterism, or a group of stars that form a pattern, and that is part of Sagittarius. So that teapot shape is a part of that larger group of stars that we call the constellation Sagittarius. And then to the right of that, you can see that looks like kind of a hazy region. That's that beautiful Milky Way corridor that you can just grab binoculars and take a look. We'll talk a little bit more about that Milky Way. Okay, now facing west, we're going to lose sight of Arcturus this month, that bright orange-yellow star. Up from there, of course, the semicircle of stars is Corona Borealis, and then our crooked square shape is the constellation Hercules. So here's our pictures. You can see Arcturus, and then the crown and our bravest and strongest hero. Still facing west, we're going to look high overhead, and that's where we're going to find our 3 bright stars of the summer triangle. You can see Vega, Deneb, Altair. Just connect those, and you're going to get that asterism, that triangle shape. And then if we use Deneb as the tail of the beautiful swan Cygnus, you just kind of go down from there. You'll see those 3 stars in a row that would make up the wings of the swan, and then the long neck and head of our beautiful swan. And the head would be a star we call Alberio, which is a beautiful double star in a telescope. And then off to the left, you see that kite shape. That's the constellation Delphinus the dolphin. Here's our patterns. You can see Cygnus, you can see Delphinus. Facing north, of course, we have the Big Dipper pattern. Look how low it's getting towards the northern horizon. And then you take those 2 stars at the end of the cup of the Big Dipper, draw that imaginary line up to Polaris, or the North Star, at the end of the handle of the Little Dipper. And then just off to the right, our W-shaped Queen Cassiopeia. And here's our pictures to go along with our patterns. And right now, it looks as though our big bear is coming down to Earth to hibernate. And now we're going to face east. We already talked about Mars blazing bright. If you look up from there, you're going to see, we said the 4 stars, connect those to form the great square of Pegasus. And there's our beautiful winged horse flying in that eastern sky. We have some really phenomenal binocular objects. So if we look towards Jupiter, we have those binoculars. We're nice and steady. We focus in on Jupiter. We're going to see those 4 pinpoints of light. Those would be the largest moons of Jupiter, the Galilean moons. And then going back to our summer triangle stars, connect those together, and then focus that pair of binoculars in the middle of the triangle. You can go to right, to left. You're looking along that Milky Way corridor, so you're going to see a lot of stars. And even if you can't see those stars, if you have lights in your neighborhood, a pair of binoculars are going to give you that great view. And our upside down coat hanger, I hope you had a little practice, but if you need a refresher, you're going to find Vega and Altair. You're going to scan about 1/3 of the way from Altair to Vega. You're going to look for that upside down coat hanger. It's kind of fun. It's really cool to see too with a pair of binoculars. And then last stop, our W-shaped Queen Cassiopeia. That would be to the right of the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. Binoculars, kind of a challenge, a little bit of practice. You're going to find that top point of the W. You're going to scan down to the right, and you're going to look for a fuzzy area in the sky, and that's the Andromeda Galaxy. That galaxy is our closest neighbor galaxy, but it's 2.5 million light years away. That's incredible. And you can see that with a pair of binoculars. But if you happen to be out in a dark sky area, it's nice and clear, you may be able to see that with just your human eyes. It's the most distant object we can see with the human eye. Now, bottom point of the W, you're going to scan off to the right again, just slightly, and you're looking for the double cluster in Perseus. So 2 beautiful star clusters that you can recognize with your binoculars. So what a great object to look at. And then here's our star map for October. We'll have this included on the museum Facebook page. It's also going to be on my starrytrails.com website. and also your checklist. You can print it out, you can head out with the family, and you can check off the items that you find in the night sky. Lots of great things to see this month. So don't forget, visit the Facebook page for our handouts, storytrails.com.